guys, so this is part 2 of the modeling of the shark. So we are starting on page 61. We are going to select the right eye object, which looks like it's already been selected, but just in case, I'm going to, there we go, I hit A and then I hit the right A. Okay, so we are going to add a material to this, and so pull out your menu if you need to. I just kind of right-clicked over that and left-clicked and pulled it out. So there's my materials button, and I am going to click on new, and I am going to call it Shark Eyes. Oops. Oh, come on, Shark Eyes. Shark Eyes. All right, and then we are going to click on this diffuse color right here, and we are going to change all of these to 0, 0, 0. But you can't guess what color that makes. It makes, you guessed it, a black. Whoops. There we go. Okay. The directions also tell us to set the hardness to 321. So I guess setting the hardness to that gives it a shiny black color. Alright, so we are going to now choose the left eye by right-clicking on the left eye. There we go. And we are going to click new for new material, and we are going to, we're going to link it now. Okay, so since we already have the right eye done, all we need to do is click on this right here. We're going to link it to the shark eyes that we just did, and it automatically takes it to that color. So that's kind of a cool feature to know. Okay, the left eye object now has the same material. Alright, so now we're going to do the shark. So it says select the materials button. It's already there. Select new. I think for me I have to hit the plus sign. I think I'm going to do that one. Name this material Shark Top. Shark Top. Okay. Right, so that should be the very first material at the top. Okay, so that's going to be important that this is the first material at the top, because that's what's called the default color. And so we're going to color the entire shark this color, and then we're going to come in and add a second material to only certain parts. So, all right, so we are going to change this color to red of 0.055. Blue is going to be, is going to be 1.189, and green is going to be 2.254. All right, so it should be that color that you see there. All right. All right, so if you haven't done it, I did it earlier, but if you've not added a second material, go ahead and hit this plus sign right here. But I already have a second material, so I'm going to go to click on that, and I am going to name that material the Shark Bottom. Shark Bottom. All right. So now we are going to switch to the bottom view, which is Control 1. I'm sorry, the directions are wrong. Bottom is going to be Control 7, I believe. Yep, there's the bottom. Just make sure it says bottom up here. All right, we're going to tab into Edit Mode and go to Face Select Mode. Face Select Mode. Make sure you're in solid shading, not wireframe. Yeah, I'm in solid. Make sure the bottom material channel is selected. Okay, so they're saying this over here. Mine is selected. Select the bottom shark faces as shown. Okay, so it looks like they want us to select that. And hold down Shift key. So all these bottom faces they want us to select. My shift button isn't working like I want it to. You get the idea. I'm going to pause this movie until I can get all the bottom faces, including the fins, okay? Okay, Much better. My shift right click was not working for some reason. So now I have all these bottom faces chosen, including the fins. So now what we're going to do you see these 3 buttons over here? Just like in the castle, if you got to that part, we can click assign. So it's going to be this default, oops, make sure we're on shark bottom. Make sure that you have that chosen. Okay, we're going to choose this white color to assign to those faces only. So we're going to click assign, and it's going to add the white to the bottom of the shark. Pretty cool, huh? All right, so we're going to hit deselect so that we can deselect those. Click on the diffuse color swatch and set the color to a light gray. Oh, okay. So I guess, so we're not going to do the white. I guess it's going to be 0.6, 0.6, 0.6. So 0.6, 0.6, 0.6. Okay, so it just toned it down just a little bit. It's still the color white, but it just toned it down. All right, so parenting. So just like we did with, what was it, the sub, we have to parent this. So we're going to select the 2 shark eyes. So I'm going to go in the top. Actually, I might go to the front, or I'm just going to middle mouse button around. There we go, so I can see the 2 sharks. I'm going to go out of wire. Oh, nope, that's not what I want. Back into object mode. Okay, so yeah, if you weren't in object mode, go ahead and go to object mode. So I'm going to click on this eye, then I'm going to hold down shift and click on, oh, no, don't choose the shark. Here, A. Eye, then the other eye. Eye, then the, you want to choose the shark last. So I'm having problems. I'm going to middle mouse button around and only choose, there we go. Okay, and now choose the shark, and now we're going to hit Control P, and we want to set our parent to object, because we want, what essentially we want is when we move the shark, we want the eyes to travel with it, right? So that's why we're parenting it. All right, so we want to deselect all by hitting A. Okay, so they're just asking us to set the origin. So in object mode, my origin is a little bit different than yours. There, see, mine's not gray. We're going to set origin to geometry. Okay. All right. This will center the object's origin point and pivot center to the center of the shark object. Okay, save your Blender file. We are on page 72, so we are almost finished. Page 72. 72. All right, so now we're going to go in perspective view 5. Adjust the display of your shark to a nice view of the object centered. Okay. All right, so there, now what we're doing is we're just trying to get this centered into a camera view. So Control-Alt-0, not bad. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my shark and I'm just going to move it back into the camera view. Makes it a lot easier for me to do that. I might turn that just a little bit. And set your camera again. Control-Alt-0. There we go. Okay, so lighting. So we're going to add some lighting. It says go to top view, number 1. Top view. No, I'm sorry, number pad 7. And then it says place your 3D cursor at about right there. Okay, and so let's move it up a little bit. There we go. And we are going to hit Shift A, and we're going to add a point lamp. Point lamp. Okay. So now they want us to go to the front view. And it says they want us to move the point lamp up. See how it's right here? So they want us to move that point lamp up to about right there or so. And then let's see what the image looks like. So I'm going to hit F12. Okay, so the light is good on the top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Escape. And I am going to add another point lamp. And it does say to go ahead and add lamps, reposition the lamps, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to go ahead and add another lamp, another point lamp down there. You know, that looks probably good. Might want to, you know, try rotating it a little bit toward the shark. So I hit R to do that. Maybe hit R to rotate this toward the shark. Highlight this one, rotate it. Oh yeah, that one was way up there. Yeah. So maybe like that. So I'm going to hit F12 again. Not bad. I might move this lamp over just a little bit. I might grab it and move it over. Let's try that. Better. I like that. Okay, so while it is in rendered, so notice I have not escaped out of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Image, Save as Image, and I am going to call this, I don't know why it ended up there. Okay, so I had to pause the video because I had to go find the location where I wanted to save. So obviously you were going to save on your H drive. I'm just saving it to my Dropbox. Okay, so I'm going to call it shark. And then I'm going to underscore. And then I'm going to put Nglade. So of course you'd put your last name because you are going to turn this in on Google Classroom. This is for a minor grade. You're going to turn in this PNG so I can see what your modeling looks like. Okay, so save as image. And then I believe we are finished with the modeling. Yep, so we are on page 79. So let's go ahead and escape out of that. Let's go to File, Save As. And let's save this as page 79, and we will get ready in just a minute to start the animation. I'm going to pause for just a minute to set things up. Okay, so I've changed things over. I have my animation open. So what we're going to do is, first of all, let's go ahead and save this as a new file, just so we know that this is now our animation file folder that we're doing. So I am going to just put, you know what, I'm in front of my page 79. I'm just going to put capital A so I know that this is my animation. So I'm going to save this as my animation 1. So every save that we do from now on will be from that page 1 point. So what this means is Shark Nglade, and then A, capital A is for the animation file now, and I'm starting on page 1. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to enter twice. So we're going to start on the top view, number pad 7. It says select the shark object and the 2 eye objects. Press the M key. Okay, so what we're going to do is select the shark, shift, select the eyes, if I can get them. There we go. Okay, so what we're doing right now is we are going to move this to another layer because we're going to work with layer 1. So remember how we do that? We hit M and we're going to move it to layer 10. Okay, so it's gone. It's hasn't gone anywhere, but it's out of our way right now. They do want us to take our camera. There's our camera. Highlight your camera, right click, and they want us to move that to layer 20. Okay, so we're just moving that. It says to select all the lamps, and I guess that was just for the rendering because they want us to get rid of all those. So we're going to go ahead and there we go. Okay, and we are going to, there we go. Oh, I'm moving all of them. I just want to delete them for goodness sake. Okay, so highlight all those and delete with the X. We're going to set our 3D cursor to 0, 0, 0. So let me see if I can't find, there it is, to 0, 0, oops, 0. What I think what we're doing right now is we're gonna add our bottom floor. Okay, so we're going to hit Shift A. We're in object mode. Shift A. We're going to add a plane object. Plane. We're going to set our dimensions to X is 4 and Y is 2.5. So dimensions, there they are. Dimensions is 4 and Y is 2.5. Alrighty. We want to tab. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Tab into Edit mode. Select all the vertices if not already selected. It looks like they are. Let me go to vertices select. Okay, they are selected. In the tools panel, click on the subdivide button 5 times. Okay, so like in Castle, they didn't want you to subdivide all the times. We do on this one. Okay, so go ahead and hit that subdivide 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So notice it kept on cutting into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to tab out of edit mode. We're going to name this object the sea floor. So I'm going to go over here and type in sea floor. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to kind of lift it up to kind of make a natural sea floor. So the way that we do that is with the sea floor selected, let me make sure it's selected, it is. So tab into edit mode. There we go. Tab into edit mode. Press the proportional edit mode button. So that is going to be right down here. It even says proportional editing mode. And we would like to do enable. Okay, so it looks like it's on. There is a new button. Okay, so now that we enabled it, now there's this new button down here. And so we are going to click on that and we are going to click on smooth. And then, so it says to turn off the 3D manipulator object. So you do that by clicking on that right there. So that's turned off. Press the Z key to enter shaded mode. I think I was already there. Yes, I was. Rotate your top view so that you can see the seafloor object in some perspective. So kind of like that. Okay, select any of the seafloor vertices. Press the grab key with the proportional editing tool on. You will see a circle surrounding the selected vertex. Okay. Oh, yeah, look at that. Okay. So what I did, so let me Control Z that so you can see what I did. So I selected a vertex and then I hit G to grab it and then I'm moving my mouse around. Okay. This is the circle. You can adjust the size of the circle. Okay, so with your scroll wheel. So if I don't want it to be that big, what I can do is I can make it bigger, and all I'm doing is I'm scrolling my wheel. Okay, so try that. So that's kind of cool. So what we're going to do is we are going to model the seafloor object to look something like this below. Okay, so we're just going to kind of choose and we're going to grab, and you know, if we want it a little bit smaller, let's make that one kind of low. Maybe middle mouse button around to kind of see how high you're taking it. Oh, let's grab one of these back here and grab. Oops. They want it to kind of be 3 humps like that, kind of. Oh, no, I don't like that. Oh, no. Let's try that again. Grab. Let's try going straight up. Okay. All of these are like that. That's weird. I've got to decide whether I'm good with that. We're going to go with that. We're going to pretend that the water is going this way, maybe. All right, that's good for me. Okay, so deselect any vertices. Oops, let me get back in there. Tab out of edit mode. With the seafloor still selected, press the smooth button on the left tool panel plane. This will smooth. There's my smooth. I'm not sure whether your smooth will be like in the UV shading, smoothing area. Tab back into edit mode. Oops. There we go. Turn off the proportional editing. So let's go back to that and disable it. There we go. And save your Blender file. We are on page 10 of animation. So save as. All right, so remember we put that A in front of there. So all I'm going to do is add a 0 behind that 1 for page 10. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to do our camera. Hold down the shift key and click on layer 20. So shift, got to be in object mode first. Make sure you're in object mode. Can't see your layers unless you do that. I'm going to hold down shift and I'm going to add layer 20 back because I want to add my camera back. There it goes. Well, what happened to my, there it goes. Cameras. Where'd my camera go? Okay, my shift key is not working. I don't know, this Blender software has been doing some funky things. I had to pause it to get so essentially you should have layer 1 and layer 20 on right now. It was not working for me, so I had to. Okay, so it says go to front view, number 1. In the perspective mode, I am in perspective, okay. Move, tilt your display, and use Control-Alt-0 to align the camera with your view. You may have to make a number of adjustments. In the end, make your camera view. Okay, so here's what we were wanting to do. We're wanting to kind of do a Control-Alt-0. All right, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this seafloor. Well, no. Oh, I'm going to keep the seafloor where it is. I'm going to readjust this. So I'm going to move this down a little bit. Control-Alt-0. Now I'm going to scroll in a little bit more. Control-Alt-0. Yep, that's about exactly what they want for the, maybe a little bit more to the right. So I'm going to move this over just a little bit. Control-Alt-0. I've got to move it down now. 0. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. All right, so when we are satisfied, we're going to go to top view. It says to save your Blender file again. That was only 2 pages, but hey, let's save it again. Never can save it enough times. Oh, back. Save as. And that is page 12. All right. So now we're going to work on materials. In the top view, select the seafloor object. All right, it's selected. Properties editor on the right, select the materials editor. Okay, so that's already there. Click new. All right, we are going to name this seafloor. Seafloor. Seafloor sand. Alright, so we're going to do like we did for the texturing for the thing. Make sure before you do this, you might need to hit pause. You need to go get that sand image, or that's called seashore or whatever it's called, from the Learning Hub, so that you can have this texture. Okay, so I'm going to add my texture. Let's see. So I'm going to go to my texturing. I'm going to call this seafloor sand. Seafloor sand, and if we remember, we need to click on clouds and go to image or movie. Alright, and then I'm going to click on open, and okay, so I had to go make sure my sand shore was in there. So go to your H drive where you saved your sand shore, and then let's click on that, and let's go to open image. So you should see a preview of your sand. And okay, do they want us to do anything with that? All right, so they want us to now render that and see what it looks like. It's black because we have no light objects in our scene. Well, that would be true. We deleted all of our lights. All right, so it says to save it. We're on page 16, File, Save As, 16. All right, so now we're going to add some lighting. I guess they weren't happy enough with our lighting that we had from above. Go to top view, number 1. Oops, 7. There we go. Top view, click number pad 5 to go to orthographic view. Place your cursor in the middle of the seafloor, and place your cursor in the middle of the seafloor. We're going to hit Shift A, and we are going to add a spotlight this time. So lamp and a spotlight. Okay, go to front view. Front view number 1. Now we got to turn, remember we turned those off before, so we're going to turn the 3D widget manipulators back on. And so we're going to move this spot lamp up on the seafloor object until it covers the entire seafloor. Okay, so what they're telling us is to scroll out. Well, let's move this up a little bit. And scroll out until your spot lamp, see the little width of your spot lamps? They want that spot lamp to be up here enough so that it's projecting onto your entire seafloor. Okay, so make sure it's up there. So now that we've done that, let's see. Okay, that's better, much better. I rendered it, F12. Okay. All right, so I escaped out of that to return to the 3D. Select the seafloor object, go to the material, set the specular intensity to 0. All right, so let's go back in and we're going to choose that again. So we're going to go back to our materials button, and right here where it says specular, you might have to pull it down. They want that intensity to be turned off to 0. Okay. This will eliminate the hot reflections. I don't know what that means, but let's see if it made any difference. I don't know. Do you see any difference? I don't know. It's, yeah. The seafloor stones, a little too big. With the seafloor object, click on the texture editor. Okay, so this is what we're going to do like we did in the castle. We're going to change the size of those stones. So we're going to change the X and Y in the image mapping. So mine's not open, so click on it. So go ahead. So X repeat, we're going to change to 3 as well as the Y repeat. Okay. So now, oh, look, that's a little, okay, so now if I press F12, the stones are a lot smaller. Okay, that's good to know. All right, so render again. I did save your file. Let's see, we're on page 21. So let's get out of there by hitting escape. So let's go to File, Save As, 21. All right. So in the Properties Editor on the right, select the World Editor. So it looks like a little tiny world. So it's right there. Okay. Check mark Real Sky. Okay. Real Sky. Click on the Horizon Color Swatch right here, and we want to change it so that red is 0, 0. We want to change green to be 0.375 and blue to be 0.4. This color will be a background of render the scene, F12. Oops, F12. Okay, so my camera is set up a little bit too high, so here's what I'm going to do to fix that. See how that's showing in the background? So you can do one of two things. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move my floor down. Notice how I did that with my blue widget arrow. So now when I go to render it again, see the seafloor now is no longer a problem. Okay, so if you have that problem, you can do that. Okay, one might see a scattering of shadows formed by the waves of water above in shallow waters. We'll simulate this effect by adding a texture to our spot lamp and effect using it to project shadows. Press escape to return to the 3D editor. In the properties editor, select texture. No, you may have to click on the button twice. Oh, we got to choose the spot lamp. There we go. We got to choose that spot lamp. So zoom back out. There we go. Okay, choose the spot lamp. Now we're going to click on textures. This opens, this is similar to the texture editor. Okay, so there we go. Okay, click on the new button. Name the spotlight texture spot breakup. Spot break up. Okay, change the type to Musgrave. Musgrave. There we go. In the Musgrave panel, set the controls as shown. Okay, so right down here where it says, so dimensions is going to stay 1, luminosity is, or whatever that is, 2, intensity 1, the size, okay, the size is going to change to 0.18, and the nabla is going to change to 0.025, which, yeah, it will automatically round to 0.03. Okay, so render the scene. All right, so I don't know about you, but I don't have any shadows. It's supposed to be like this reddish color, but I think when we add other things in, it'll show the shadows. So don't get too concerned about it if well, you're not reading the directions, so you're probably not too concerned about it. So save as, I just had it, we're on page 26. Okay. Okay, so this is the fun part, which we are about to get to. I noticed that I'm at 30 minutes, and that's what I try to keep the videos at. So we're going to start by adding the armatures on the next video. So I will see you soon. Bye.